Ah. All right. Welcome to.
Welcome back to Armored Core 3, everybody.
Welcome back to Armored Core 3, recorded by the best dudes, where we record a new episode before the first one's even being done edited.
I will be completely real. I have no fucking clue what we did last. It's probably we got into a mech, we shot some guys and dismantled capitalism, or upholded it.
Max died a lot. I remember that much.
I do remember that.
Remember,
No. This is what happened. You messed up your save, and you ended up having to redo some missions.
Yeah, and then we got past that point, and then we started doing other missions, and I was like, oh, I'm going to talk about the Armored Core games and all that. I'm also going to recommend a bit of reading on the side for anyone who really wants to understand Armored Core. I highly recommend the Karl Marx classics, Das Kapital, and the Communist Manifesto. You got some help from this guy Friedrich Engels for the second one. They're about how capitalism sucks, and those are going to be really important to really understand Armored Core. I just wanted to get
Max
that.
Best Dudes out here breaking the mold on new commentary topics.
Always. Well, when you really think about it, I mean, labor is entitled to all it creates. And you've got all these capitalists, industrialists, so-called captains of industry, crushing labor under their boot to simply produce more stuff, to be consumed by us consumers, who are made consumers, because you've got all these bastards convincing us you must consume. Can never be enough.
You're always consuming.
Silence, harlot. Anyways, go read those, I guess. They're free. They're not actually that long. They're like just little PDF. They're like pamphlets. They're not even books.
On a related note, I'm so hyped for Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hey, that's coming out?
It actually, I think it already came out. I don't know if people like it.
I didn't watch it because I don't watch Disney's mid-fucking movies anymore.
I'm just not really a fan of the series anymore. It was fun, but it's I feel like it's more of a fun watch from home when you're on Netflix than like I feel like Marvel movies nowadays are just the thing that you enjoy more watching from home and not really watching and just really high, as opposed to like seeing it in a theater.
Well, that's because capitalism has ruined entertainment, because everything is schlock that is focus tested and made to be like, I don't want to say like, oh, making something that's appealing to a bunch of people is bad, but when you completely strip something of art or substance to be like, oh, we need to make like the most money off the most people to satisfy the shareholders and all that, well, now we got a fucking problem.
I just stopped paying attention. I never got around to watching any of the TV series, and then like the TV series became required reading for the movies, and then it's like I didn't have any real reason. I just don't go to theaters as much anymore.
I feel like there was also just too much going on. Like there was too much story, there was too much media centering around it. It was just constant for years and years and years, and it's still going. And it's like it's let off a little, but it's just like there's so much.
It's always been the case. Like I would consider like okay, I brought Marvel as like a fucking because Max talking just reminded me of the fucking soy jack memes. I wanted to do some 27-year-old consumer shit posts, but what was it like? It was always kind of the required because like you consider probably the peak of Marvel was like the Infinity War Endgame, everything, and it's like you needed to watch like a dozen movies to keep like fully up to date, and you still needed like half a dozen just to know what the fuck is going on. Who the fuck is Captain America, stuff like that.
Not to mention why the movie starts out the way it does. You'd have to watch the ultimately much better movie, Thor Ragnarok, and then you're just gonna be sad because Thor Ragnarok was a good movie, and
And then
Infinity
the
War
Russo
was
brothers completely undid all the cool developments
movie.
from Thor Ragnarok.
Because they just hate Loki with a burning passion.
I mean, at
And it's
least
also like,
Like, they killed a lot of characters just because they thought, oh yeah, this makes sense. We just gotta kill them. We don't.
well,
We just pick the ones we hate.
there's the argument to be made that the movies were made the same way as comics are made, which is a whole bunch of people get involved in making the things, and you've got all these people with different ideas collaborating on the same story, and it can easily turn into a complete clusterfuck. But at the same time, guys, come on.
It's like there's a really big difference from cinema and like having something in film versus having something in a comic made by lots of different artists. When you have like one artist working on it, you hope it's a cohesive story that's actually trying to like give you enough information to tell you what you need to know. But I feel like Infinity War is just a clusterfuck. It's all over the place, and it just does a lot of things just to try to make you feel like, oh, this is deep and sad and emotional, and does that in some parts pretty good. But in general, it's just not amazing. It's very unremarkable as a second watch.
I liked it. I still liked Infinity War. Like I'd at least put up there like one of the biggest scenes in film period is the snap sort of thing. Like of course that's it does well. It doesn't help accessibility. It does take that kind of balls. Yeah, well maybe not really. I mean they still killed almost everyone not named Scarlet Widow was die came back by the end, but to put it on that sort of level of cliffhanger.
It was, I don't know. The writing was very mixed. There was some parts of it that were really, really good. And then there were other parts that were just like, what is happening? Like, what is it?
I will give sorry for like interrupting, but I will give Infinity well, I guess it's not directly Infinity's Wars, but it's one of the reasons why like all fucking superhero movies now have to be fucking 2.5 hours long. They like the only movie that ever really felt like it needed to be, 2.5 hours long are the giant fucking stories like Infinity War and Dark Knight did it really well. But, like every other movie just takes like it didn't feel like it needed to be, that long. I guess like the new Batman is a really good movie, but it's still like, fucking 3 hours is a commitment, man.
I thought Interstellar
it's a lot
was
to spend your day on, and it's a lot to be able to like continue having your focus set on. Not to mention if you have to take a bathroom break at the theater, that means you're missing out on scenes, and that's not fun, and that just makes it stressful because you're like, God, I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah,
But and Matt, alone, you can't fill in those gaps, so it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of frustrating in that regard, especially when movies are just way too long to be able to watch in one sitting. I am talking too much and getting myself out of breath.
But
also Endgame was garbage. It was not good.
You mentioned, Max, about like some movie I already forgot. You said that was okay being long.
I recently
Interstellar. Like
a month
it's
ago.
mostly just like there are good long multi-hour movies sort of thing, but it's like superhero movies specifically now just have to be fucking 3 hours,
and
like,
we gotta tick that box.
Yeah.
Not because the person making it, the people. We have to remember that that cinema and all that is a collaborative effort. The people making that movie, not one person, people. Was it like the people making it were like, we want it to be this long, and it's long, but we want it to be that long, or was it some fucking suit being like, it's gotta be long?
It's gotta be as long as my attention span. Oh wait, never mind. That's 5 minutes.
It's about 20 seconds.
Hey, you're doing good. You're doing good so far.
Yeah. What is it?
Yes.
I feel like there's a lot of good movies that have been coming out, though.
Actually, since we're on the subject of movies, and maybe one day we'll actually talk about Armored Core, like anything remotely what's happening on screen right now. Are there any mech movies you would recommend, Max, as a connoisseur of the mechanical biped?
Oh, good mecha movies?
Yeah.
Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway, which is the first Gundam movie in 40 years that was actually good. Because it's funny, Gundam has like had so many good series, OVAs, manga, novels, and all that, but most of the movies sucked.
So
Yeah.
DBZ's Dragon Ball Syndrome.
Sort of. Well, they didn't. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not that all of them sucked. I mean, F91. Well, F91 sucked, but it was sucky in like the best way possible. I fucking love that movie. But Char's counterattack had way too much like. Had so many pacing problems and wasn't even the whole movie, the whole story. It was the latter half of a collection of novels that Tomino wrote and then got the go-ahead to adapt into a film, and he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna completely rewrite it to make this new screenplay.
That wasn't part of Beltorch's
No, that screenplay became Beltorchka's Children. He basically rewrote the story to be this, and that, and then the people at Sunrise said, no, Tomino, just adapt High Streamer. And he said, fuck you. And then he proceeded to adapt High Streamer, but he took the screenplay he made in the first place, rewrote it to be a novel, and then published it, had it published as Beltorchka's Children. Which in that one
explains everything.
Yeah, it's largely the same. Oh Christ, hold on. Let me save before doing this one. Save, kids.
Especially if you're playing an older Armored Core game. They are cruel in terms of what you'll be able to do.
I've definitely fucked myself over a couple of times already in Fallout New Vegas of like,
nice.
Not saving when I was supposed to and end up accidentally losing like 10 minutes of playtime because it turns out someone caught me stealing it and I end up having to kill half the NCR.
Oof.
Armored Core didn't get auto.
That game is ruthless, but like that's a lot of the old school games. Like right now, I'm playing fucking Daggerfall, with the Unity patches that people made. Daggerfall Unity is a lot of fun. Definitely look into it if you're okay with very old procedurally generated dungeons and a very old school story. But it's fun. It's a good time. But yeah, it's like you gotta get used to just saving constantly because you could either both die randomly and lose all of your save data because it just doesn't save every 5 minutes, or you kill half the NCR because that's totally a normal thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna mention, actually a couple things in Mecha World today that make everything great. Armored Core 6's gameplay trailer came out like 2.5 weeks before the recording of this video. That recording happening on May 15th of this wretched year of our Lord, 2023. It looks pog as all fuck. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. And Hawken is getting revived as a PvE mech game. Hi, this is Max from the future, and it turns out that Hawken Reborn sucks. And that sucks. I guess when a genre gets revitalized, then inevitably you're gonna get a few stinkers, which is painful. Everything is pain, and we are just dolls in God's Barbie dreamhouse. Which, ooh.
Oh yeah.
You guys ever play Hawken?
I have not. That wasn't the one you showed us on the PS2 once, was it?
No. Hawken was a PvP mech, free-to-play mech game for PC that was released like a decade ago and lasted a couple of years before the servers unfortunately had to be shut down. Well, PC servers at least had to be shut down because this Joker. Oh, he's got a shield and a pile bunker, so... Oh, and missiles, so just don't stand in front of him. Got it.
Oh yeah, it was Custom Robo that we talked about.
Wait, that was Custom Robo?
No. We probably talked about Robo. Was it Robotech? What is Robotech? What is Robotech?
Robotech is something that existed.
So, Gunfire Reborn or whatever it was, whatever the new game is called, is it mechs of like this size, or is it like the Chibi Robo type, or not Custom Robo, the Chibi style of Custom Robo, not Chibi Robo?
Yeah.
or like realism, anime, whatever. Like what's the feel?
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Did I lose
Max,
you?
what is the video game?
Which video game?
Oh, what
What?
what is Gunfire Reborn or whatever it's called?
Oh,
Called.
Hawken. Gunfire Reborn is something completely different.
I mean, it has
That one
Reborn
has
in its name, and I
furries.
completely forgot what it was called.
Oh, Gunfire Reborn is a I think that's like a looter shooter closer.
Yes. Oh no,
Furries.
I played a ton of Gunfire Reborn. I just forgot what Hawken Reborn was called. But I remember the
No,
Reborn
that's exactly
parts.
what it's called. Hawken Reborn. That's what the new one
Yeah,
is.
no, because you mentioned it earlier, but like while it was lost, sort of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I had
Gunfire
the pleasure of
Reborn.
playing the original Hawken for a couple of months before it got shut down, such as my lot in life for getting into PC gaming in 2017.
Oof.
But it's back, and it might be kind of like Mecha Warframe, maybe?
Huh.
This
So
motherfucker-
realistic.
Huh?
So like just going for a semi-realistic style.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, all of the mechs you were piloting were like mini mecha. They were fast, agile, but they still had like that kind of sense of weight. And of course, it was corporate dystopia hell world where mercenaries were all duking it out because that's mecha, baby. It's homoeroticism and politics. That's just all mecha.
Also,
Sitting
we should do a Gunfire Reborn co-op playthrough.
I
we
wouldn't
can-
mind
we-
doing a
100%
co-op
down. This
together.
game looks fun as hell, and
Oh
I'm
no!
also
Oh,
for
I have like a couple dozen hours in it. But yeah, it's roguelike Binding of Isaac Borderlands.
I read my favorite review I've seen so far is it's like Team Fortress 2 without the racism.
It is literally Team Fortress 2 without. It's
Or
also
It's furry Borderlands, but a roguelike. Super fun.
it's a Chinese studio, but it's like you can tell it's a Chinese studio. Like a lot of I mean all the characters.
Are they all?
I
wiki
forget what
they're all good?
the prince's name, but they all have like clearly Chinese names that I am forgetting all of because it's been a couple weeks since I played it. But yeah, like Bai Lu, I think was one. Maybe that was the dual wielder. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like I said, it's Borderlands roguelite style, and it's like it has the ability to get those builds where you're like rapid firing a weapon that literally one shots every single enemy, and like it can fall out of control. Maybe not to the levels of like Risk of Rain 2, but things can go
Risk of
pretty
Rain 2 is
crazy.
Great.
It's included with the Xbox Game Pass. I can play this with you. I don't know if I can play it on like cross Steam stuff, but we should play.
Okay.
I think another really good game to do like a co-op session would be Deep Rock Galactic, but that's because I shill for Deep Rock Galactic at every chance I can get.
That is because you are deep rock You're a fan of it.
You
You're
got
a
it.
fan of it.
I'm quite
Like I guess if for roguelites, I would shill for Binding of Isaac the most because I have almost 600 hours in that. Risk of Rain 2 is the one I played the most, and then I think third roguelite I've played the most of is Gunfire, which is 40 hours.
That's a good one.
Oh, the
Yeah.
one that
I wouldn't know.
the roguelike that I put the most time into is probably going to be what is it? Slay the Spire. I think this is my favorite roguelike. It's super easy to sit down and enjoy. Otherwise, I've been enjoying Rogue Legacy too. It's fun.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm always surprised, like looking at my library of just how many roguelite whatevers. It doesn't feel like a game I'd be that interested in, but here I am.
Wait,
1,000 hours later.
Tower Defense 6 is a roguelike.
No, it's
Is it?
not.
Oh
No?
no, it's not. But it,
Yeah, no, that's
it has some-
roguelike includes randomness and all the balloon
Oh wait,
friends are
never
the
mind.
same.
No, Balloons is not random.
Mhm.
Forgot about that.
Fucking Warframe included a roguelite with the Duviri Paradox update. It's kind of
I know. What was it? What's the fan-made Ace Combat clone?
Project Wingman.
Yeah, Project Wingman has a roguelite or
It does.
roguelike mode for what was it like?
Little
You
map
get like
domination mode.
yeah, like the maps get randomly generated. What's your enemy? Where you are? What's your objective? And if you die for real IRL.
But there's the whole there's like certain upgrades that you'll keep and all that, like your aircraft selection and all that. One of which is just capable of dropping nukes. But they're not like nuclear missiles; they're nuclear bombs.
Right.
Oh, that's got to be an AC at the other side of that gate. It's funny. Nukes technically don't exist in Project Wingman, not because it's like, oh, nukes are cringe or anything like that, but it's because, well, we've just developed a different super weapon that instead of, detonating those spicy rocks, plutonium and shit, instead we just drop bombs that basically split open the Earth's crust and cause a bunch of geothermal nightmare shit to happen.
Of course.
Which arguably might be worse. But it's funny to see a weapon labeled experimental uranium freefall bomb. That's what they call it.
It's like, wow, this escort mission ain't gonna go too well.
Reborn's pretty fun. I'm looking at the Steam page for it. It literally comes out in 2 days, free to play. So
Yeah.
Damn.
it's a PVE game or PVE
It is,
focused.
and it might be, like I said earlier, it might end up being like Mecha Warframe, because some of the gameplay makes it look like, okay, well, you can see health bars on these jokers and all that, and the
You go out and
developers
find
said in an
blueprints.
interview with PC Gamer, they're like, oh yeah, oh Jesus, this is going to be an AC behind this door. Oh no, it's just a fancy MT with a blade.
AC? More like AC Transit.
If only they had a budget.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. The public transportation quota. Got it out of the way.
Got it out of the way.
Exactly.
Public transportation, Sonic furries, gay shit, video games.
Video games.
Yeah.
Video games.
Based
Everybody
cringe,
loves
keck,
them.
Copium.
spaghetti dinner, sans, Ouija.
Hold on. Let me.
You must
just,
die. All that.
There.
For yourself, motherfucker.
Okay, cool. Let me just. Okay, we got that out of the way.
Spam the Discord soundboard, why don't you?
Yeah.
That's a nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
Yeah, we are going to abuse our soundboard. Okay, we're doing good here.
Always.
In the silence.
I'm
we use
so.
the soundboard for victory.
Are either of you concerned about Discord removing the tags or whatever?
Oh, I
I
it's
think
really
it's an
stupid.
incredibly ass-backwards decision that I think at least half of Discord staff is begging them to roll back on, because the people who actually code this shit probably know that leadership is unbelievably full of shit, and Discord is overstepping their bounds, trying to break into markets that they don't need to break into. Like, we want to be the place, the social space, the whole imagine a place fucking thing, instead of just being like, look, our core
Discord has
audience...
been very successful at doing what it does. It really doesn't need to be something else.
Well, here's the thing. One of two things has happened. Discord's leadership are fucking morons.
That or they looked at Twitter and were like, we want that. We
No,
want those
it's either
billions of
that or
dollars
the
in cost."
shareholder or the shareholders decided
It's probably
to
shareholders.
be
It's
whiny.
always shareholders.
Well,
Rich
it's
guys
also-
with money
well,
thinking
you have
they
to
know
remember,
everything.
Discord was made by two guys in San Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco. There's your problem.
Yeah, the problem is tech brain rot.
Exactly.
Being in San Francisco does that to you.
I mean, it has been proven that like companies, like especially the big ones, actively make their UIs worse. Like they want to, like they put down these downgrades for one reason or another, either to be able to resell it back as a premium thing, or make it seem when people mention improvements, it seems like more noteworthy or whatever.
Oh, like how Apple will literally add things to the phone that will make it slower and therefore make it to where you have to buy the next phone that's coming out in a month.
Yeah. Remember, I guess it still happens where like you would get a new phone and it's like after you install your SIM card, like you would have 32 gigabytes and like 17 of them were already taken up by the default apps. I think on my
Exactly.
old, I remember on my old phone, I think it was a Galaxy Nexus or something like that, where there was a mandatory Amazon app, like one of those pre-installed. You couldn't install it, and then if you try to open it, it just says, this app has ceased functioning. Download the new Amazon app, Amazon Shopping. Uh, and the app is still like 100 something megabytes.
Yeah, it's really stupid and not surprising.
Yeah.
God, capitalism really produces the worst things in life.
It does.
And for all one fan of us, all one fan watching this who will get upset about that, enjoy it.
Cope.
We will post your IP address. Tommy put it on screen.
Tommy, you're Tommy. Which Tommy are you talking about?
Our editor.
I gotta.
The one we keep duplicating in the lore, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was also one question I wanted to ask Max. We were on the movies. I forgot to edit. What is your opinion on Pacific Rim?
Stone Cold classic, and the second one was a better Power Rangers movie than the Power Rangers movie, at least according to my friend.
Like the second movie, like really took out the part of like how they were supposed to be super unwieldy. Like in the first movie, it was a lot more realistic. In this one, it's like, no, they could just do fucking backflips and a giant monster can kick them into the side of a mountain. They can like do a recovery kick out of it, like a roundhouse out of it or whatever.
Yeah. You go more for the action side of it than the realism side of it, but I think the realism side of it from the first movie is so fun. Well, it was so interesting because it kind of created more stress and fear that you didn't really get with like when it's all actiony. You're not really worried about the hero at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it also did give it like a little bit of a separation from Japanese style, like since it was like one of the few mainstream American mecha sort of related.
I will
media.
say, I think with Pacific Rim Uprising,
Gotta say, with the first movie though, I'm going to interrupt you for this specific line. Idris Elba's way of going out was really fucking badass.
Oh, in the first one?
Remember that.
He detonated the nuke he was carrying to kill a kaiju.
Oh, okay.
Well,
That's pretty
no,
sick.
he didn't kill a. Well, yeah, okay, he did, but that was just so our heroes could actually get into the last place to leave the big nuke, which is
No,
fun.
Idris Elba had the big nuke. They detonated.
No, that was
reactor.
like in their base area, more or less. That wasn't just a kaiju. That was the base.
Yeah, the idea is they were going to go to the aliens' little realm and then detonate a nuke, drop a nuke in there and detonate it. But then they had to detonate the nuke prematurely. So the protagonists decided, well, what we're going to do is our Jaeger has a nuclear reactor, so we're just going to overload it, drop that motherfucker in, and just detonate it right there.
And then they realized they have to have someone set it off manually.
No, they didn't have to do that. They set it to blow, then they ejected from the Jaeger, and then they fucking went back through the breach and were in Earth, and they were cool. And then Pacific Rim Uprising had
Charlie Day and the other guy were excited because
they were
cool.
basically gay. And
I did find it funny how like hard typecasted Charlie Day is into that character. It's like he legit just plays the Always Sunny.
He literally plays the what is it, the male character with
Luigi.
the mailroom. Huh?
Luigi.
Yeah, he plays Luigi.
He's Luigi.
He's very easily typecast, but he's a very good actor when it comes to it. So it's like you can't. He's perfect for his roles.
Yeah, you can't stay mad about it. I was going to say again, Pacific Rim Uprising as kind of messy of a movie as it was, I think it missed a golden opportunity to really focus on the idea of rogue Jaegers that it started with Obsidian Fury, which was fucking kick-ass. And then they decided, oh, let's just not do that. Let's do this whole kaiju. Let's just do the kaiju again, and let's have Charlie Day be the bad guy. But he's mind controlled by the aliens, who I forget what they were supposed to be called, and will appeal to the Chinese market because we need money at all costs.
It's like The Wall. That movie was interesting.
That one was just Matt Damon goes to ancient China and then helps fight some
Matt
monsters.
Damon and other random white guy.
Yeah.
Wait,
I heard
don't
that
remember the
they
actor's
avoid
name.
the problem of like whitewashing actual historical figures, or people who are supposed to be from a place where the people there aren't white, by explicitly having them be foreigners. Just like, oh, we're just passing through. Oh, you guys have a monster problem? Do you want help with that?
Oh,
It's just a
Okay,
white
no.
savior problem, not an active racism.
okay. So apparently, the reasoning behind why those two were in the movie was purely just because the Chinese creators wanted it to reach out to a Western audience. So they were like, okay, what can we do that'll make it reach out to an audience outside of China?
We
And
need
they were
Americans.
like, we slap Matt Damon's face and this other guy on there, and we're good. We got our white people we got our white people on the checklist done. This is our diversity board. And then they appear for like 15 minutes within the entire movie.
I think that's very funny.
Like they never do anything significant or important. The most they do is help out the person who's actually doing all the work. And yeah, that's basically it. That movie is very much propaganda, though. It is very propagandastic for China. It's a pretty fun movie to watch, though, but it's not that great.
I mean, there's like a decent amount of movies that I haven't seen them as much recently, but they were like clearly supposed to be like they would flop, but they were like clearly supposed to be Chinese propaganda movies.
Yeah.
Like there was one animated movie wasn't the Red Panda one, but there was like Kubo maybe or something like that, where like it's obviously like here's like here's the most beautiful country in the world, here's the culture and everything.
Oh,
And
if we ever need propaganda, just look at Rank of Kings.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, it's totally not
speaking
propaganda
of,
about
propaganda.
Korean people being bad and terrible, and Chinese and Japanese people being the best and sweetest ever. Totally.
Hold on. Pause that real quick and read this description, and then once again tell me that Armored Core is not about capitalism being terrible. Just give it a read real quick.
yeah, you just casually, a corporation gets to completely run over.
Wait, do you need to kill him now or just fight
No,
him?
this is just an arena raven.
Oh, so you're not
I
killing
don't think
him.
you
Yeah,
ever
cool.
face this guy in mission. We're like at 33 minutes because the Armored Core episodes are just running long now because we're just that good at it. So I'm gonna do this arena fight, and then we're starting the next episode. And I'm gonna take this time to mention how the other thing that's been bringing the mecha genre back has been Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury. And how is it doing that? Lesbians.
Yeah.
I mean, for real. They were like, I can imagine it was
The writer is literally the person who did Utena, Revolutionary Girl Utena, and that is as gay as you can get for old school media. So it's very much kind of, it's more or less per picture like the Revolutionary Girl Utena story, and it's great. It's fun.
I think I remember reading something that basically said like the staff on it were like, oh, okay, how do we want to reach out to newer audiences and all that, because we've been doing all this like UC throwback shit, which is awesome, it's great, but the problem is most people who are into UC are boomers who watched it in the first place, or people who are already really fucking deep into Gundam and piss away all their money on Gunpla. Yours truly.
We've already had a diplomat. We've already had a woman who get a cool older lady who makes the simp male lead. Have a sister or have an older siblings figure, and then we've already had a bird lady, a girl who wants to be a bird. And then we've had lots of horny, stupid bi men.
Yeah, but yeah,
very
basically
common.
I'd say so. Basically, they're like, oh, we want to reach new audiences. How do we do that? Well, we appeal to the youths by setting this new one in a school, but also throw in all the political shit that Gundam always has and the travesties, and oh boy, have they fucking been there. I won't spoil G-Witch.
One thing you can always
like I
expect from
spoiled
Gundam is
all-
trauma.
Yeah, I won't spoil G-Witch like I've spoiled everything else that we've talked about so far, but those have been out for fucking years at this point, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, G-Witch, most
but
recent
what's-
season just finished recently. So.
What's the other thing that G-Witch did to really get those youths? Lesbians. They added lesbians. Why? Because we've had 40 years of gay men in robots. Now it's the lesbians' turn.
Well, it was more so bi men, but still.
I mean, bi, gay. Look, it's Amuro and Char.
Speaking of
They're both
bi
willing to
gays,
suck a good dick or two.
good bi gays. Goodbye. This is the end of the episode.
Goodbye. Haha.
Bye.
I'll talk about how Amuro and Char are gay in the next one. Bye.
Tommy, cut the feed.